Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, we are talking azelaic acid. Now, azelaic acid is one of my favourite skincare ingredients, and I think it's one of the most effective when it comes to fading hyperpigmentation and giving a more even skin tone. However, azelaic acid might be becoming increasingly popular, but there are right ways and wrong ways to use it. Here on the channel, I'm running a series called Working Smarter, Not Harder with Skincare. This is where I say it's not always about introducing new ingredients and new serums. It's about learning to use the ones we already have that a little bit more effectively. And today's the turn of azelaic acid. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to elevate your azelaic acid results with just a few simple hints, tips, and hacks. I've already covered peptides, retinoids, and vitamin C in this series, and I pulled them together in a playlist which I'll leave a link to up there. But without further ado, shall we just cut that waffle and elevate our azelaic acid? Now in this video, I'm going to be splitting it apart into various different segments. First up, we're going to talk about azelaic acid, what it does, and the benefits it can bring. We're then going to come on to elevating our azelaic acid, what we can do to increase the results, which, let's be honest, is why you're all here. Then towards the end of the video, I'm going to share with you some of my favourite azelaic acid serums, so if you haven't found your own perfect pairing, hopefully that'll give you some inspiration and food for thought. The timestamps are all listed in the description box below, so if you wanted to jump to one section of the video over the next, they're all there, so be my guest. All I ask for in return is if you're enjoying this style of content, a little bit more free-flowing, a little bit more chit-chatty, then let me know by, again, giving the video a thumbs up and a like. This honestly is the best way of supporting me as a content creator, so from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. So let's kick things off with what is azelaic acid and what can it do for the skin? Well, I think sometimes we hear the word acid in the title and we think, okay, exfoliator. Well, that's not actually the case. Azelaic acid over time can have some marginal exfoliation benefits, but actually its primary aim is in terms of fighting hyperpigmentation and reducing the risk of excess pigment production in the first place. It's also anti-inflammatory and can minimise the risk of sensitivity and irritation in the skin, so it just works in so many different ways to bring benefits to our routine. So unlike glycolic acid, salicylic acid, you don't have to use it the same way as you would other exfoliating acids. Because it doesn't work in that exfoliating way, you can actually use it twice a day, which is what I personally would recommend, and you'll experience a lot less sensitivity and irritation. In fact, the reverse can often happen. And azelaic acid is wonderful because it actually targets hyperpigmentation, excess pigment production, in a number of ways. First and foremost, it calms, soothes the skin, reduces inflammation. As inflammation is the number one trigger to excess pigment production in the first place, it's not hard to see how azelaic acid, by reducing that down, will, over time, lead to a more even skin tone and less excess pigment production. It also targets some of the key components within our skin that lead to that excess pigment being produced in the first place. So by dialing everything down and over time marginally increasing cell turnover, it reduces that pigment in the first place and helps to eradicate it that little bit quicker. It pairs well with just about all other ingredients in your skincare routine, and that flexibility I think is why it's becoming so popular at the moment. However, I think it's more than just reaching for an azelaic acid serum and applying it to the skin. We need to know how to use it, how to layer it and pair it for the best results, which is where hopefully this section of the video will come into things. So first up, my first top tip is make sure you're using your azelaic acid with tranexamic acid. So we've always been told in the past to don't use two exfoliating acids together, but like I said earlier, azelaic acid and tranexamic acid, they're not exfoliating acids, so that rule doesn't apply. You absolutely can use them together, and I think this is the perfect pairing when it comes to hyperpigmentation. That's because tranexamic acid works in a similar but also subtly different way to azelaic acid. Use them together and you'll further reduce the risk of that excess pigment production in the first place, further reduce any inflammation and irritation in the skin, and help to eradicate excess pigment quicker. So it's like a 2-for-1, double the benefits. You'll also see the results in a shorter time frame, and azelaic acid and tranexamic acid both available fairly affordably on the skincare market, which is why I say don't use one without the other. When it comes to my favourite tranexamic acids, there are a couple to choose from. I really like the Naturium Brightening Serum, the one in the yellow tube that's on the screen now. They do a couple of different ones, but I think for me, this is the most potent of their tranexamic acid offerings, and this will layer amazingly with whatever azelaic acid you choose. If you don't want to reach for this option, I also love and adore the Exaglow Serum by Face Theory. This really packs a punch using that tranexamic acid alongside some other brightening agents. It just works really, really well. And I think either of these two serums paired alongside your azelaic acid will definitely take it to the next level and give you like A+ hyperpigmentation fighting results. In terms of other pairings, I would definitely encourage, if you don't want to reach for tranexamic acid, to explore some other pigment correcting ingredients such as alpha-arbutin. This, again, used alongside your azelaic acid, will just double down on the benefits you see. My preference, like I said, is tranexamic acid, but definitely pair your azelaic acid alongside a pigment corrector option, because that way you'll just get speedier results. And if, like me, you're super impatient, this will definitely pay dividends. Second top tip is choose your type of azelaic acid. There are two. There's pure form azelaic acid, which I think most brands now formulate with, but there's also something called PAD. This is actually an abbreviation of a ridiculously long scientific name, but this is an azelaic acid derivative. Now, studies actually show that this azelaic acid derivative finds it easier to penetrate the skin, get to where it needs to be in order to deliver the results, and is more gentle. So whilst I think my preference is still with true form azelaic acid, if you've tried it before and found it was a little bit sensitizing on the skin, switch to the derivative form, and I've got some recommendations coming later. You'll get less sensitivity and the same great results. Studies also show that the derivative is better for acne-prone skin in terms of reducing the prevalence of acne-causing bacteria. So if you're using your azelaic acid to fade acne scarring and inflammation, actually the derivative form might just work better. And like I say, stay tuned for those recommendations later. Finally, key is concentration. So azelaic acid comes in lots of strengths. Don't just reach for the strongest one, assuming you're going to get the best results. Actually, when it comes to elevating your azelaic acid, think about the strength you need. So I would say 5% is great for maintenance. If you've got very sensitive skin, this could also be a really great option for you. That 5% I'd say is for people that have got the results they want, or maybe they're happy with their overall complexion and they just want to maintain it. Well, 5% will be that sweet spot to deliver you that great maintenance, but next to zero irritation or sensitivity when introducing it. This is why I also say it's a great beginner option in terms of azelaic acid. In terms of treatment strengths, 10 or 15% is where it's at. This is where you'll start to see that fading of hyperpigmentation and you're really going into treatment mode. Over time, you might find just sticking at 15% is right for you, or you might take it down a notch to that 5% in order to maintain. But I think 10 and 15% is where you'll get the very best in terms of treatment. Finally, in some markets, 20% is available. This will work if you've got very stubborn hyperpigmentation that's almost been a bit resistant to other treatments. However, it does tend to come with quite a few side effects. So for me, personally, I found that 15% was the best in terms of treatment, and I didn't really get too many extra results from 20%, but I got a lot more sensitivity. So match your strength to what you're trying to achieve, and know that sometimes going for a lower strength might be right for you. So hopefully, by this point in the video, we know how we're taking our azelaic acid to the next level, how we're going to elevate things, how we're going to take it to the next stage. But you probably don't actually have an azelaic acid to hand. And if that's you and you want to explore the market, let me share with you 4 of what I'd say are my perfect elevated azelaic acids that would make a perfect addition to your skincare routine. So kicking things off with this is the Geek and Gorgeous A-Pad Serum. Now, don't worry, I've linked all of these in the description box below, so if you don't catch the name, those links are there for your convenience. But yeah, this A-Pad is actually that derivative form that I mentioned earlier. So if halfway through the video you thought, yeah, derivatives are where it's at for me, they're the ones I want to go for. More gentle, great for acne-prone skin. This is the one to reach for. 20% of that azelaic acid derivative, which over time is going to fade hyperpigmentation, reduce inflammation, and really minimize acne-causing bacteria. But it is so much more gentle than traditional azelaic acid in its pure form, which is why I think this is a holy grail. There are some other PAD versions of azelaic acid, but for me, the price point and just the overall experience with this is what keeps me going back to it time and time again. It feels beautiful on the skin, sinks in like that. If you want to go for pure form azelaic acid, I actually think the best on the market is this. This is the Face Theory Lumizalia Serum. Now, this is a 15% azelaic acid, so definitely treatment strength. Really great, hyper effective, and why I say it's next level is what it's used alongside. So in here you've also got colloidal oat, which is going to calm and soothe. So if you're thinking of your azelaic acid as anti-inflammatory, that's one of the key benefits. That oat alongside it is just going to double down on that. Pair it with tranexamic acid, honestly, it'd be like inflammation will be banished from your skin, which is the ultimate goal when it comes to skin health. You've also got aloe in here, you've got green tea as antioxidants, and it's just an all-round holy grail formulation. It's azelaic acid, but with so much more. So whilst it's not the cheapest on the market, I think this is the very best when it comes to formulation and delivering those quick wins in the most sensitive skin appropriate way. That colloidal oatmeal is like perfection in this formulation, and I absolutely adore it. When it comes to elevated azelaic acid on a budget, this is my recommendation. This is the Q&A Balancing Serum. This actually has an 8% concentration of azelaic acid, so it's between maintenance and treatment. But this costs £7.49 here in the UK. Doesn't get more affordable than that, and it is now available internationally, which is great. All these recommendations, by the way, are cruelty-free. I should have said that earlier, but this is a great, affordable, cruelty-free British brand, which I absolutely love. And I think this is a really nice option to go for. It does also have some other ingredients that are going to calm and soothe, which is why I think for the price point, this is a truly comprehensive formulation. Now, finally, for those of you that are looking to streamline, condense everything down and not have too many steps in your routine, I would recommend the Paula's Choice Azelaic Acid Booster. 10% strength, which is great for treatment, but the benefit of this is it can be mixed, in fact they encourage it to be mixed into your moisturiser. Azelaic acid isn't pH sensitive, so you don't need to worry about that in the same way you might a vitamin C. So if you're someone that thinks, I want to try azelaic acid, but I don't want to have an extra step in my routine, don't worry about it. Just put a couple of drops of this into your favourite moisturiser, apply it to the skin, and you'll get all those wonderful benefits. This is also beautifully formulated with some great humectants and hydrators. And so, yeah, if you're looking to streamline and you want azelaic acid and be able to mix it with something else, this Paula's Choice one is a great option, and yeah, not the cheapest, but again, that flexibility is why I think this is next level. These are just 4 great options, and there's lots of others on the market, but hopefully in this video, I've been able to share with you how to elevate your azelaic acid game. Don't settle for okay. Take it to the next level and know that actually, by working this a little bit smarter, a few effective pairings and knowing how to apply your azelaic acid, you can elevate the results you get without necessarily having to have a whole suite of new products and ingredients. I would definitely recommend whatever azelaic acid you reach for, applying it twice a day. This way you'll get the very maximum results in the shortest space of time. But as with all ingredients, patch test thoroughly before you apply a new product and allow your skin to accommodate it, get accustomed to it before using it twice a day. Build up to that point, and that way you'll further minimize the risk of any irritation. Azelaic acid is a staple in my skincare routine. I would never be without it. And knowing the right concentration, reaching for the right form of azelaic acid and pairing it effectively is going to give you those A+ game-changing results when it comes to fading your hyperpigmentation. Wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and love your skin. Take care. Bye.